right. Hey, guys. How are you? God bless you guys. Hope you guys have started off with the new year being well. Let me just check here, make sure this audio. I got a weird message saying the audio is not working, so let me just double check this real quick. Let me just check here, make sure this audio. Yeah, it's working. Okay. So tonight, I know I wanted to do an actual teaching on something that the Lord has kind of showed me in Ephesians, but we had something come up, and again, this is the first part of this. So I want you to understand something. As far as this ministry goes, our ministry here at Fisher Street Preachers, which is basically a rebrand of Warriors for Christ. We work with different groups and people all over the country, and we have different, I don't want to say agencies, but or groups of people that work with us or that we work in tandem with. And some of these people are media. Obviously, some of you know that and whatnot here. So one of the things that we do is we like to, not even like to, we feel an obligation to and a duty to out child traffickers, pedophiles, and especially when it comes to the LGBT, because they've sold a lie that they're not into that stuff, that whatever, and of course, if you followed us for any number of years now, you'll know that most of that was completely not true. We've exposed several people that have harmed children within that group. Now, again, that's not to say that there aren't other groups of people out there that harm children. There are. I mean, Epstein was one of them, Bill Clinton, all these guys here. But, when you look at proportionate wise, these are the groups that are really doing it more than anybody else. Now, they don't want you to believe that because, again, if it all came out, the truth all came out to everybody at one time, there'd be no more support for these groups whatsoever. However, within the past, I don't know, year, at least here in Oklahoma, there has been God has really outed and exposed a lot of this. And it started with us really exposing that child trafficking ring out there in Bartlesville through the state. We've been, we've been all over the state here preaching at drag queen events, groomer events. There are 2 pedophiles that were sitting in jail today because of the work we did. And, this is nothing compared to what's actually out there. I couldn't even do a live stream to really fully tell you the story of the integration and how deep some of these groups have infiltrated our government. And I know we all, a lot of, and I'm not talking from like conspiracy nonsense. I'm talking about practical and real things that are actually going on out there. That, being between police and courts, and how their fingers and tentacles have just got into everything. It's that crazy. Some of you might remember a few months ago, we outed Dr. Shane Murnan, who was a principal at the John Gunn Elementary School in Western Heights District, Oklahoma. Mr. Murnan here was actually, it came out that he was previously arrested for possessing child pornography. And his case was dismissed on a technicality. But the DA at the time, on public record, said that this guy should be nowhere near children. And yet, we find that he is a principal at a school in Western Heights. Now, he was temporarily suspended because of all the fanfare. We went out there, we preached it, we went to the school board meeting, we were all over this. And we still are, by the way. Even it was so crazy that even Shia from Liz TikTok came out there and she featured us in a video. But, part of what we do is exposing this. And one of the things that we exposed was that this Dr. Shane guy was a drag queen, moonlighted drag queen. And what he did was he was bringing his drag queen buddies into the school. Now, again, nobody really paid attention to that part of it because, hey, we want to be careful and not to be bigoted, whatever, but who cares? Look what's going on. When you hear what happened today, what came out today, you're going to know why it's important that this is, followed up on and stayed up on and why we do what we do. So we preached at the school. We went to the school board meeting. We showed this. We shared, all these things here. We shared how, he on his Facebook page was openly recruiting, other people on his drag queen page to work in the school district. And here we have another guy who was just arrested for trying to meet a child. Okay. And I want to read this to you, and I think it's important here, and you can go check out our friends over at visit v1sut.substack.com if you want to read this. Now, I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to put this up here for you guys so you can kind of read along with me. You know, again, because I don't want to take away from what she wrote about this. And it's important that you guys see all this for yourself, okay? So here it says, Oklahoma's Western Heights Public Schools, a chronically failing urban district in southwest Oklahoma, once again faces a scandal for hiring practices that endanger the safety and well-being of children. Since August, this publication has revealed how Shane Murnan, a known drag queen with a prior child porn charge and mysterious evasion of an aggravated DUI, became the principal at John Gunn Elementary. And there he is, all dressed in drag. Murnan's alter ego, Chantel Mandalay, actively recruited school staff to work with pre-K to fourth grade children on his drag queen Facebook page. He has since created a second private page, but here is his public page here we could take a look at here. This is the principal of a school, mind you, okay? Let's just get rid of that here. And let's see if the ads are still there. We shared this previously. New job brings new adventures. Good morning. Okay, so that was July. Let's see here. We were just days away. I mean, this guy's disgusting. Let's make it legal. He'll take all the, make what legal? Does he touch little kids also? Yikes. This is so bad that even this stuff, there's stuff that people kind of forgot about with this guy, that he had, sex toys on his desk in the school there. They were cutting orange peels. Look, here he is posting pictures of his office in the school, right? But again, the whole idea is, no, his drag life is separate from the school. It's not. It's anything but. But you see, these people can pretty much say whatever they want, and they just get believed blindly because, well, they've said it. But anyway, here's a post from June on his page. Are you bilingual? Want to make a difference? Must have GED or diploma. Inbox me. Okay. Now, we stood outside the school and we shared how this guy was recruiting his drag friends to work in the school district. And people thought, oh, what's the big deal? They're not combining the two. Well, just like everything else that we've exposed in the last year, when it comes to children, these people shouldn't be anywhere near them. And this is another one of these stories. So despite a national outcry for this principal's removal, the district's packed September school meeting, the one that I got kicked out of because they were offended by my t-shirt, was dominated by a coordinated group of progressive teachers and LGBT advocacy groups were wearing matching t-shirts. If you go back and watch our preaching from that, you'll see they were all wearing, supporting Murnan, all these things here, in support of the principal. School board members sat there silently as, the constituents, concerned people, were belittled by this crowd of LGBT. That's what they do. You're not allowed to say anything and speak up against this, or you are belittled, talked down to, hate, you're called hateful, bigot, all these things here. And it works so well effectively that even a lot of Christians today back down from this. They're afraid to call it for what it is, because again, they want to appear loving. Because again, I had somebody today argue with me that Jesus never got angry, that anger is a sin. This is the stuff that gets propagated in American churches today. We're not allowed to be angry. We're not allowed to say, call these people what they are publicly, or else we're considered hateful bigots. We want to exemplify the love of Christ. But when you ask people what that means, they can't tell you. They don't have the foggiest idea of what it means to have the love of Christ. If you stay silent in the face of what's going on in this country, and look, most of you have no idea how deep this goes. We have tried to share it, but I find that even then, a lot of Christians, they still don't really care. Because after all, most Christians today, and at least in America, the concern is how many people can we fill up the chairs with? How many people can we get to go to our conferences? How many people can we reach on social media? They care more about numbers than they care about effectiveness. Meanwhile, while that stuff's going on out there, our churches are all, swaying and making sure they have banging worship services with flash pots and crazy zip lines or pastors coming on stage, because again, the American church is an entertainment venue. Our society and our culture today is entertainment driven. We want to be entertained. We don't want to sit through a sermon today. We can't sit there for 2-3 hours listening to a Bible sermon. We can't. We got to, hey, listen, man, hurry up. I got lunch and I got to go watch Sunday football. We got to, TikTok, pastor. Speaking of TikTok, our kids' brains, it's been proven, but you don't hear about this anymore. The prefrontal cortex of children's brains has been affected by this. And yet we just seem to ignore this over and over again. And we as Christians are being affected by this as well. We don't really have any intestinal fortitude. If you remember when I talked about this principle, I said, the guy is temporarily out of the school right now, but it wasn't because of what he did. It was because of his safety. But I said, as soon as the fanfare dies down and conservatives move on, because that's what we do, he'll be back. And that's exactly what happened. And as a result of this, now we have this bust of this guy here. Okay. Yeah, the teachers supporting this. The teachers all support this, by the way. And if you think they don't, you're wrong. Okay. Now, it's been reported previously that the district's hiring an overpayment of drag queens and progressively like-mindedness. They've done this over more qualified candidates from the classroom all the way up to the district level. Nepotism, okay? Contracting of public funds among this growing group was sanctioned knowingly by the district's school board, whose members consistently refuse to respond to any questions, okay? Now, there's a group here called Oklahoma Predator Prevention. They bust a man named Hao Jiang, okay, who was knowingly grooming minor children online. And he was a teacher at John Glenn Elementary who was Shane Murnan's buddy and was hired by the drag queen principal. Remember, we stood out there at that school with our bullhorn yells and we blasted these people for this. We told them what was going on and we were called hateful. We were called bigoted. We were told that we're bothering and disrupting the school. We were wrong. This wasn't going on. We know what's going on. We go out there and say these things. We're not just saying it because we know exactly what's going on. Okay? And because we are street preachers and because we preach our heart against this, the outside world thinks, oh my gosh, you're so loving, but look what's happening. Maybe now people start listening to us and we say this is going on and we stand up there with a bullhorn, with a camera, and we're telling you this is going on. These drag queens are in our schools. They're being supported by woke leftist teachers. They're assaulting children. And you're going to find out towards the end of the video, there's another in this school. A child was sexually assaulted in the bathroom in the school, and it was not reported to the police. Instead, it was reported to the administration, who did nothing but cover it up. And this is in Oklahoma. So how we have here Hao Jiang, who's a 40-year-old Chinese immigrant. He worked side by side with drag queen principal Murnan at three elementary schools where Murnan went. This guy, when he hired him every time. He has been outed as a child predator. Okay? On December 17th, there was a 12-week interaction between this guy, Hao Jiang, and what he thought was a 15-year-old boy named Josh. Okay? Now, their confrontation of Jiang concerning his conduct was live streamed on multiple platforms from the front porch of his home, and we will go ahead and put that up on this channel later on. During the broadcast, several Oklahoma City police officers arrived, gathered information concerning his activities, and began collecting evidence directly from Jiang. The police incident report suggests Jiang's cell phone, now in the hands of Oklahoma City Police Department investigators, contains evidence of a number of crimes against minors. The report reads like this. Sue, which is suspect, was asked if he would let us book in his cell phone, and he retrieved the cell phone. When the suspect opened the phone, the initial item that popped open was a Discord conversation with photos of a young male, unknown if the male was a teen or in his early 20s, sodomizing another male. Now, that is Oklahoma City Police Department Incident Report number 2023-009-1991-1. Hao Jiang signed a search waiver for his phone and turned it over to the police. There was, in fact, pornographic photos from the phone described in the police report with a different set of communications that didn't involve the decoy of the 15-year-old boy. It's unknown what other material on the phone had. All we know is that the phone, right, the case was assigned to sex crimes unit for more further investigation. Now, I'm going to show you this. Now, I want you to be warned about this. I'm going to show you pictures right now of the conversation that took place of him with the boy. October 1st to December 17th, he was communing with what he thought was a 15-year-old boy whose mother worked nights as a nurse. Jiang, who went by the name Kiki, solicited contact with the boy on Tammy, a dating app for transgender and non-binary people. Okay? Jiang initiated contact with Josh, who informed Jiang he was 15 years old. Early on in the communication, Jiang sent the boy what appears to be a dated photo of himself dressed as a woman in makeup and a wig. Now, again, I warn you, I'm going to show you the actual conversation, so be forewarned. I am single. Can I see more? What are you looking for? Going with the flow. Jiang, who's a 40-year-old man, claimed to be 28, then later 26, explaining that he's not trans, but femin CD, which means he's feminine crossdresser. He offered the boy his old PS4, a new PS5, food, movies, a trip to Tulsa during texts and calls, linking the gifts to the continuation of the relationship. According to Jiang, it's not for free. So here it is here. Really? You don't have to do that. It's not for free. Wink. Oh yeah, what in exchange then? LOL, be a really real friend to me. How about that? Oh heck yeah, I thought you was going to say something else. Like what? Another answer you will not talk about? LOL. LOL what? I'm a little confused. Now you are busy. I have 5 PS5. You have 5 PS5? Yes. Why? They are different game bundle consoles. It's from my collection. Oh, okay. Let me see if I'll give you something for Christmas. Don't lose me. Whatever those little faces are there. You're rich? No, I am not. How can I be rich? I am even working now on Sunday nights. 5 PS5, that sounds rich, LOL. So now he began pressing the boy for pictures of himself. Do you see how this works? Slowly suggesting more risque options and sending a photo of his own lower half in women's clothing. Was imagining. I bet you was. Hee. So can I see? No need to show inside. I'll buy his dinner. Big one, you name it. You send me a pic first. Driving pic, question mark. No, LOL this. Huh? Now your turn. Nice. I can see her your legs. LOL, yep. Mine are very smooth. Nice. You like smooth? I do. So what we gonna do? For today, our date? Yeah, hello. I was asking for today for our date. Now, this conversation, by the way, happened during school hours, where he once stated he was working lunch duty with his second graders, or as Jiang was delivering Grubhub orders in the evening. On October 17th, Jiang invited the boy by both text and phone to come to his parent-teacher conference night, suggesting the boy lie and say he was Jiang's cousin. Jiang and the boy discussed dating and the boy's other sexual experiences with men. Jiang eventually said a more realistic picture of himself. There you go. Be scared. Cute. Not cute as you. LOL. So when we disappear this many days, I was still planning on taking you out for dinner on Sunday. He begins referring to the boy as boyfriend and baby and babe, eventually pressing the boy to send him nude pictures during shower time. I'm not going to repeat this because I can't do it, but you guys can read this for yourself. So you see how this works, okay? This guy he enticed this child, what he thought was a kid, with a PS5. Got him to the point where he felt comfortable. If you notice, as the conversation progressed, is when he started getting more aggressive and asking for more things, show me pictures in the shower, things like that. Okay. So you see what's going on. You see the progression. So this is what's going on. And now, and I put this out there because I think every person in this country needs to be aware of what is happening. Because we again, we are outraged on social media. But that's the extent of most of our activism. That's the extent of most of our outrage. We don't actually do anything else. I don't know why, but why we continue to keep the fight on platforms that control the narrative. I mean, this guy, he's in school. Remember, they were saying that these people keep their lives separate from the school, and we've shown time and time again that's just simply not true. It's all lies. Now, when this particular case, the guy Jiang, he arranged to meet the boy at Target in Midwest City, offering a meal and a movie ticket for a date. When the kid would not send a picture of himself in the video game section of Target, Jiang suspected a sting and headed home, where he was soon met with cameras rolling. Jiang told both the predator group and police he was a teacher in China where it is illegal to be gay, and he came to the U.S. on a student visa in 2014 to attend the State University of New York. His LinkedIn resume indicates he's working on a master's in education, though he does not appear to have earned that degree, and no further information about any lower degree institution of learning in China is listed. There's a picture of his link that you got it. Then in 2015, he claims to have come to Oklahoma to accept a teaching position, though records indicate he did not find work within a public school until the following year. Jiang brought his parents, who speak Mandarin, to Oklahoma. On December 17th, they utilized Google's translation app to help Jiang's mother understand why they were confronting her son about his online communication and allow her to ask questions. It is suspected that Jiang actually chose Oklahoma due to a relationship. He is married to a man named Christopher Frost of Newella, Oklahoma. In October of 2015, shortly after entering the state, Frost was not present at the home during the live stream when the guy was caught, and only Jiang was listed on the home's title. In January 2017, Jiang registered to vote as a Democrat in Oklahoma. What a shock. It is unknown if Jiang could have gained his citizenship in such a short time, right? As naturalization by marriage typically requires the applicant to be a permanent resident for at least 3 years and have been living in marital union with your U.S. citizen spouse during that time. Jiang and Frost had been legally married for less than 15 months when Jiang registered to vote, which means because he's gay and Democrat, he got to bypass the system and get preferential treatment, because after all, if they don't get preferential treatment, well, then that means that you're a homophobe and a bigot, because that's how it works now. All you got to do is say gay, do something they don't like, and you're a homophobe and bigot, and your life is destroyed. Now we come to the drag queen principal who hires Jiang at 3 schools. Jiang operated as a classroom teacher for years within multiple Oklahoma City public school elementary schools, though questions remain about his education, experience, and certification through the Oklahoma Department of Education. His promotion and longevity appear to be directly tied to his relationship with Shane Murnan, drag queen Chantel Mandalay. In 2016, Jiang was hired as a teacher at Stanweedy Elementary, which is now renamed Esperanza Elementary, a grossly underperforming, economically disadvantaged school serving primarily Hispanic English language learners. Oklahoma State Department of Education records, then under former State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister, Republican, then Democrat, suggest Jiang held none of the needed certifications for the position during his first year, and was then emergency certified during his second year with the Oklahoma City Public School. That certification expired in June 2018. Once again, being gay gets you privilege. You know, we hear a lot about white privilege. Well, I don't know. This guy got to vote early. He got emergency certification. He got all these things because he was gay. Because remember, you're not allowed to say anything against the LGBT, or else you're a homophobe and a bigot. Now, for those of you on YouTube, excuse us for a second, but if you're watching Instagram, remember, in 28 minutes, Instagram's going to cut the live feed. They cut it off for an hour. So if you're on Instagram or if you're on the other platforms and you want to come over to YouTube, it's youtube.com/@officialstreetpreachers, or just go to YouTube, type in Artificial Street Preachers, look for our logo that you see here in the corner, and subscribe to that channel there, because like I said, after an hour, you know, Instagram's going to cut us off. Look for the thumbnail. This is our channel logo right here. You want to subscribe to that if you're on Instagram, just before they cut it off, okay? According to a former coworker that Hao Jiang met Murnan, then an RTI coach at Hillcrest Elementary, at a 2018 teacher training. And at Murnan's recommendation, Jiang was hired to work alongside him at Hillcrest Elementary. And it appears Jiang worked half the school year without any valid certification, and was then, in January of 2019, granted 3 subject-specific certifications through an alternative path designed for those working as paraprofessionals, which are teaching assistants. Jiang was not working as a paraprofessional, and it is unknown why he did not seek traditional teacher certification. 5 years worth of narratives on Jiang's classroom fundraising page through the Donors Choose website indicates he was working as a classroom teacher. And according to the former Oklahoma City public school coworker, Hao Jiang taught for a year at Hillcrest. He was awful. Shane Murnan recommended him because they met during a summer training. Shane described him as having a crush on Shane, and we were able to get rid of him at Hillcrest because he was not a career teacher yet. Jiang then followed Murnan, new assistant principal, to Prairie Queen Elementary. Jiang gained the elevated title of instructional coach, a role designed to increase student performance by allowing the most effective teachers to mentor and coach younger and less successful teachers. So let's pause for a second and realize we've got a drag queen principal previously arrested for child porn, bringing in gay people who are not certified, putting them in position teaching to mentor and coach young kids, and now these guys are being arrested for trying to have sex with minor children. Do we not see a problem here? When are we, as Christians and conservatives, going to say, enough of this, enough of this? When do we go beyond just posting our outrage on Facebook and YouTube and actually go out and start doing something about this? Or do you not give a crap about these kids? Okay? According to the coworker, the former coworker, his position would definitely be a promotion that he was not qualified for. According to Western Heights Public Schools' own listing for the position, which is described as part of the school's leadership team, Jiang would not be a qualified candidate. Murnan recruited multiple Prairie Queen Elementary School staff members from The Boom, a gay nightclub and theater where Murnan worked in drag for many years. Now you want to know why they support this guy? Because they all came from the gay bar. He brought over gay people. I mean, it's crazy how this happens. This drag queen brought over a bunch of his buddies from the gay bar to work in his schools. And you want to know why these schools are so bad. And again, but we're letting it happen. Now, as Murnan jumped districts, moving from assistant principal at Prairie Queen to head principal at John Glenn, Jiang was again by his side in 2023. He admitted that he knew of Murnan's 2003 child porn charge, and the Western Heights Public Schools Board officially hired Murnan on June 12, 2023. Special District Judge Philip Corley, Payne County, Oklahoma, which is where I live, said, and I quote, "You, Murnan, should be nowhere around young children." That's public record. At the very next meeting on June 29th this year, the Western Heights Public Board approved Jiang's hire to John Glenn Elementary as an RTI instructional coach on Murnan's recommendation. What a shock. What a shock. Now, again, I'm putting this video out there, and I know there's tons of people watching on Instagram right now. What are you guys going to do about this? What are you going to do? If you're watching in Oklahoma, you're in Western Heights School District, you're in Oklahoma City, what are you going to do about this? get your butts down to that school on the public sidewalk and peaceably assemble and call this stuff out for what it is. Don't just let this happen. You can do something about it. You should have parents lined up all up and down that public sidewalk demanding that every one of these people be removed from the school district. But we won't, because we have better things to do. We care about the kids so much until it comes time to actually do stuff to protect them, of course. So now we have to ask ourselves this question. What exactly is Jiang's job at John Glenn Elementary? What did he do there? Western Heights Public School repeatedly misuses instructional coach position to make questionable hires. In Jiang's conversation with what he thought was a 15-year-old named Josh, he claimed he was an assistant principal. When confronted, though, he denied being a teacher, then stated he was an instructional coach and explained he sometimes helps his principal, Murnan, with principal duties. And the district's most recent accreditation report, which is October 2023, lists Jiang as a self-contained second-grade classroom teacher. Western Heights Public School Superintendent Braden Savage was required to complete an online certification process in order to declare the information to be accurate and submit the report to the Oklahoma State Department of Education as required. So the superintendent lied. While the report identifies both Kylie Keeling and Gina Redwine as instructional coaches at John Glenn, Jiang is not listed as fulfilling that non-instructional role for which the Western Heights Public School Board specifically hired him. Because he's gay. Because he's friends with the drag queen principal. So again, they covered up, they lied on official documents, they got preferential treatment, they got, how much more of this do you people need to hear before you're ready to actually do something to stop this? You think this is one district in Oklahoma? Imagine what they're doing in California and New York and New Jersey and all over the country. Now, response to intervention instructional coaching salaries, they are paid through federal entitlement grants. Your money. Every single person watches this video, if you're in America, your money went to pay for this guy who was just arrested for trying to have sex with a kid. Title I schools and districts, those serving low-income families, have significant flexibility as to how they can use these funds. And Western Heights appears to be an example of how just such funding, when misused, could put children at serious risk of harm. If Jiang is an instructional coach in pay only, who are John Glenn's actual instructional coaches? Kylie Keeling is the alternatively certified teacher who publicly used the official Western Heights Public School logo to encourage gay advocacy groups to swarm the district school board meeting in support of Murnan by claiming our principal, Dr. Murnan, is being targeted by Ryan Walters, who's the current state superintendent. We need your help. Also, a current correctional coach at John Glenn is Gina L. Redwine, and she is currently serving a deferred sentence until 2030 for multiple felonies related to Medicaid fraud perpetrated through her former business, Motivational Counseling Services, LLC. Now, we don't know how she got her certification through the Oklahoma State Department of Education in 2022. She's a felon. But, hey, she is on deferred sentence. Not all grant money is good money. And the instructional coaching model has become a way for Western Heights leadership to hire not the very best and brightest educators, but ideological allies who may present a risk to children. After all, Principal Murnan was an instructional coach when he first hired Jiang in 2018, and Murnan continues to be employed by Western Heights Public Schools. Now, since September, our state superintendent, Ryan Walters, who has said that he is watching everything we do, knows what's going on, and follows us, has been highly public in opposing Murnan's continued employment. He proposed a rule that would update the teacher code of conduct to include sexual activity in public targeted towards kids to be inappropriate for those that work with our youngest students. Last week, the Oklahoma State Board of Education proposed the following. A teacher may be dismissed, refused employment, or not reemployed after a finding that such person has, either in the presence of a minor or in a manner available to a minor online, engaged in sex acts that appeal to the prurient interests in sex as found by the average person, applying contemporary community standards, or acts that excessively promote sexuality. Given Jiang's outing, the new language appears pretty timely. Within the last 24 hours, we have received additional information about direct risks to Western Heights public school students, and we are working to develop those soon. And just for the sake, so you know, we're talking about kids who were actively assaulted in the bathroom in the school there, and nothing was done about it. Nothing. Nothing. What more can I say? What more can I say? You know, a lot of people don't understand why we're so actively opposed to all that. This is why. This stuff, I mean, you can go look it up. It's all real. I'm going to post a video of the teacher or the instructional coach who's being appointed as a teacher showing the arrest. Okay? He tried soliciting sex with, and then tried to get him to come to a parent-teacher night. Now, again, I make this video tonight. I tell you about this stuff. It is happening. It's very real. What are we going to do about it? I know what I'm going to do about it. What we've always been doing. We're going to go there. We're going to stand against it. We're going to bang the drum. We're going to make phone calls. We're going to make emails. We're not going to let this fly. We're going to go and let parents know what's going on, how these people, and what Shane Murnan, as long as Shane Murnan's a principal and is recruiting people from the boom boom room, the gay bar, this is going to continue to happen. We cannot tolerate it. We're supposed to be the salt and light of the earth. And yet and don't think this is unique to Oklahoma. I guarantee you that you have schools where you live that this is happening. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it's not there. Now, what you need is we need people, God needs people like us that are willing to expose this and work with other groups of people to help get this out there. We need people to stand up in their own backyards and start saying enough is enough. I am so tired of hearing about how we want to protect our children. We want to save the children, do this and do that. If you really want to do it, why are you not doing it? Don't tell me you don't know how. I told you how we can do it. Every single person watches if you're in Oklahoma, get down to Western Heights. Line that don't go on school property, go on the public sidewalk with signs and banners, bullhorns, whatever you got to do, and start calling this stuff out. Do not interact with the children. The children, they don't know what's going on. But the teachers and the staff and the parents absolutely need to be made aware. The teachers and the staff, the principal needs to be called out. Their principal needs to be fired. He needs to remove. Every single drag queen in this country should be outlawed. It should be illegal for them to be around children. And we can make it happen if we're willing to actually do the work necessary to get it done. It's going to require you Christians to actually get up out of your chairs, go beyond social media, go beyond prayer, go to your state legislators, email, call, and do it more than one time. You need to stay on them and let them know. You need to find these groups of people. You need to be willing to ask questions. If we can do it here in Oklahoma, you can do it where you're at. This needs to stop. This isn't one of these things where we can just sit here and talk about it on social media and say, well, I'm outraged. I'm disgusted. I'm sickened by this. You should be. But what are you going to do about it? I just laid out a whole case of how corruption and lies and how these LGBT folk get special preferential treatment, how they get to skip the system, buck the system. Why? Because even you Christians, let's be honest. Let's be honest. If somebody calls you a homophobe, you run, tuck tail, and hide because you don't recall that. But let me ask you a question, Christian conservative. You know what makes these people cheer. You really care what they think about you? Does being called a homophobe, a bigot, or whatever, Are you really that concerned with what these people think about you that you allow them to dictate your behavior, what you should or shouldn't do? You see, they know it works. That's why they get away with everything that I just told you about here tonight. They get away with lying on official paperwork to put LGBT people in positions for your children. Your taxpayers, this isn't Oklahoma, our federal money. Your taxes went to this, are going to this. Okay? We can't just sit silently on these here anymore. We can't just sit and say, well, guys, we'll pray for them. Prayer is important, but we need to go beyond prayer. We need boots on the ground, so to speak. We need people to be actively engaged in their own communities. See, the thing is conservatives are so concerned with, we don't want to rock the boat. You know, we've bought this lie of this image of Jesus Christ that doesn't exist in the Bible. This namby-pamby Jesus that doesn't get mad at people. This somehow we've accepted this lie that Jesus is a long-haired hippie that ran around singing peace and love when that's not who Jesus Christ was. Okay? That's not who Jesus is. If you think that Jesus wants you to sit in silence on this and just say, well, I did a good job. I post my address on social media. You didn't do anything. If you think that simply posting on social media is it, you did nothing. You know, I don't claim to be the most brilliant man in the world. I don't claim to be the most studied street preacher in America. I'm not. So if God can use a guy like me to do this, it wasn't that hard. All it took was going out to a pride event preaching and paying attention to the symbols that these people have on their clothes and then researching it and then researching who these people are. I mean, that's how we found this out. That's how we found out who the woman that worked at DHS was, Comfort Kydell. That's how we found out that and we did further investigation. We found out more. And I could tell you more later on. I can't right now. There's more coming. But this has infected our culture. Now, again, I remind you, if you're on Instagram, hop on over to our YouTube channel because they're gonna cut the feed off here in about 10 minutes, 9 minutes. They only let me stream for an hour before they cut it off. So if you want to continue watching with us, come on over to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@officialstreetpreachers, or again, just type in official street preachers on YouTube, and you'll find our channel there because they're going to cut off in 9 minutes. And what you want to do is you want to look for you want to type in official street preachers, and you want to look for this channel thumb logo right here. This is our channel right here. Okay. Make sure you subscribe because, again, this is the kind of stuff we do. We do preach events, but we also are very involved in trying to uncover this. We get information, we pass it out there, we put it out there. We work with different media organizations, different groups of people, and there's some stuff that I can't say right now. And for our troubles, we again, you got to remember, when you're tip of the spear on this, people are going to hate you. The LGBT groups, they hate everything about us. And that's good for me because, the devil should know your name. The enemy should know your name because when the enemy knows who you are, it's because you're a threat. You're a threat to the kingdom of darkness. And I'm going to continue being a kingdom of darkness. I don't care about perception of how sinners see me. Neither should you, Christian. We should not be concerned with whether the enemy views us loving or not because it's not about us. Whether you love people or not is irrelevant to why you preach. You preach because you're told to by God. Because God wants this stuff stopped. Because God wants to reach people. You can't save people. Your job is not to win people to Christ. Your job is to preach. The Holy Spirit will do the winning. The Holy Spirit will do the convicting. Your job is to simply lead them. That's all we can do. But you have to lead them properly in who Jesus Christ actually is. We need to get this idea that Jesus was some long-haired hippie that went around singing peace and love out of our heads. We understand who Jesus Christ is. The Bible tells us that God is angry with the wicked every day. He's not up there boo-hoo-hooing over sinners. He is angry with the wicked. And we are turning more and more like Sodom and Gomorrah every day. Now our kids This, I mean, this isn't a fairy tale. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't no, this is actually happening. My own experiences. Okay, I preach a pride event. Lesbians, groomers, literally went to a police officer, another groomer, to file a harassment complaint, then go to a judge who is a friend of theirs to get a temporary restraining order on me because I posted 2 Bible verses. Then the judge, when he got caught, had to recuse himself, didn't drop the restraining order like he should have because he shouldn't have given it to begin with for his friends, and said pass it along to another friend of his in the court. And in a court in America, a judge in America said these words: "We have freedom of speech, but only freedom of speech in talking to groups of people. We no longer have the right we don't have the right to free speech when it comes to targeting individual people," which is completely wrong. And the argument from the homo lawyers, because our case is appealed, it's in the Supreme Court, right in the Oklahoma State Supreme Court. The Chief Justice himself made the motion to keep it there for disposition. Their argument is that judges, you ready for this, should be able to legislate from the bench and go outside the confines, right? The state statutes for these laws are here, and their argument for the Supreme Court is, you can go take a look, is that judges need discretion to go outside the boundaries of those statutes. That was their argument. This is still America, after all. I am the first Christian in America to be threatened with jail time for posting Bible verses. And for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, or for those of you that know the story, I want you to remember this too. There are Christians out there, there are agents of Satan who are masquerading as Christians, who want to infiltrate the churches, disrupt the churches, to stop you from doing the work that God wants you to do. Now, I'm going to play a video. And again, if you're watching Instagram, make sure you hop over to YouTube, because it's going to cut off in 5 minutes, this video. And you're only going to see the rest of this if you go onto our YouTube channel. And I'll wait, so this video is going to be shared there in 4 minutes. I'll post it so you guys can hop over and see this. I'm going to show you an example of somebody, again, a fake Christian who literally helped groomers obtain a restraining order for posting Bible verses. A person who calls himself a Christian, a person who so we have to understand, not everybody who says that they are a Christian is one. Not everybody who claims to follow Jesus does follow Jesus. And I'm going to bang this drum until you guys get it through your heads, that we have to understand the Bible talks about that evil men and women have crept in unaware. Okay, you think the devil doesn't have his own people inside the churches to disrupt things, to try to get you off your game? I was told recently that, a lot of you guys watching on YouTube that know the controversy right now and all the division in the street preacher community, a couple of brothers have come to recently and said, Rich, you ever think that maybe, just maybe, some of this was to distract you so that you don't continue doing the work like we just did here tonight by outing this stuff and going after these guys? That it's meant to bog you down with all this other nonsense? And I said, I didn't think about that. That there are agents, even in the street preacher community, that are not working for God, that don't work for God, they work for the devil. The devil has plants everywhere. Just like the LGBT has plants all over the country, all over schools, in police, in courthouses. They've got them everywhere. Some of you watching, you remember this, that Abraham Lincoln says that the philosophy of the classroom one generation will be the philosophy of government the next. These freak shows are in our classrooms, grooming our kids, indoctrinating them with their filth. Now they got these drag queens and all these people here who are assaulting kids in bathrooms, who are dressed in drag, recruiting other gay people from gay bars to bring them into our schools and start convincing kids that, yeah, it's okay, normal. You should be 5 years old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old and not knowing what gender you are. You should be 12 and 13 wanting to have sex with the same sex. This is what they're being taught today, which means by the next generation, that's going to be normal if we don't step in and do something about it. And again, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to educate you. I'm saying this to get you involved. This isn't something you'll be lackadaisical about anymore. This is something that we all have to do to stop this. Because if we don't, it's going to continue and it's going to get worse. The Bible tells us it's going to get worse. But it takes discernment. It takes a willingness to do what God wants. It takes a willingness to do the things that God says to do. We need, and now I'm going to play this video. Now, most of you know, you've seen this video numerous times, but again, you need to understand this. It's that important that the devil has people in churches, in groups, in conferences, even in the street preacher community, that are not there because they are serving God. They are serving the devil. And too many of us don't have the discernment or are not listening to the Holy Ghost when it comes to some of these people. There are absolutely evil men and women who have infiltrated our churches, and the Bible actually warned us about it. And this clip I'm going to show you right now is something I put together to show you how a man who calls himself a Christian, who so desperately wants to be a street preacher, has infiltrated or masking at it in order to help child groomers. He's a sodomite himself, lives a double life, but he's a child of the devil who's sent in there to discredit Christians who are exposing this stuff and to try to stop Christians like myself and others from doing this work further, who wants to see guys like me in jail for posting Bible verses and thinks that it's no big deal. So again, if you're on Instagram, go over to our YouTube channel because you're going to miss this video. Otherwise, it's about to cut off here in about 30 seconds on Instagram. Make sure you go to youtube.com/@officialstreetpreachers. Or again, just go to YouTube, type in Official Street Preachers. I'll give you guys a second to come on over there before I start this video. Because like I said, it's about to cut off here in a couple seconds. But you don't want to miss this. You want to go back also and rewind this video and watch the whole thing from the beginning. You want to see the progression of grooming and how these people operate. Now, again, and after this clip, I'm going to tell you where we're going next. I'm going to tell you what we need you guys to do and how we're going to go forward on this, because we've been talking a lot about this. And the Instagram video was just cut off. So we're going to have to end Instagram, unfortunately. That's the way it goes. But without further ado, I'm going to show this this video here and see how children of the devil have infiltrated the church. Hold on a second. I messed up. I don't know what happened there. Just give me a second. It didn't start from the beginning. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's try it again.
Anybody physically or contacted them directly. He just posted on social media. And the key here is that's where people are speaking today. That's where all churches are speaking on social media. So if they can tell you that because someone felt threatened, the LGBT people, the gay people, that over these Bible verses, if that's it, then I mean, if you go out on this corner and just talk to people generally about the Bible, you can get arrested now if that's true. This is why this is a very important case. When he contacted me and I looked at the facts, I said, whoa, in America, by quoting Jesus Christ, you can get a 5-year restraining order and put in jail if you speak.
How common is that? I mean, you've dealt with a lot of these cases where somebody has posted not necessarily, not a direct threat, they've posted Bible verses, right? And they've had this kind of a reaction from a judge. How common is that?
This is very rare. I have not seen it. This is the first time I've actually seen somebody quoting Jesus Christ and that being considered a crime. Exactly. And that's what it is. And I've been warning people about this for years as I've seen just general free speech being attacked across the country on social media. You can't say this word. You can't say that word. They take you off of social media. Now the Biden administration actually has issued an order where they're talking, if you give disinformation on the social media, you can be considered a terrorist. Now the question is, are we going to give in to this or are we going to fight it? At the Rutherford Institute, I fight for free speech across the board, no matter who you are. And that's the point. I may not agree with your beliefs or whatever, but I agree with the fact that you have a right to say those beliefs. And this guy did not threaten anybody. He did not walk up to him. He did not meet him. He did not point a finger. He just posted something on social media. And quoting Jesus Christ on social media, if that's a crime, then folks, what's going to happen to ministers across the country if you say the wrong thing? If you say, well, I don't like this group, and here's what Jesus might have said about that, you can actually get a restraining order issued against you if this holds. We're appealing this case, and we're going to try to set this straight, that this man has the right to free speech and the freedom of religion. If not, toss it out, folks. They're going to cancel Christianity if they want to.
So there you go. Now, I share that again because, well, you need to understand the reality of the situation here and understand that, not everybody who says that they're a Christian actually is one. There are a lot of people out there who pretend they're Christian, who say they are, that are not. They're the furthest thing from a Christian. They hate Jesus. They hate God. They want to be God. They want to decide what we can and cannot do. And for me, I am not even remotely close to wanting to even be involved with people like this. So you have to understand this. You have to understand this. Go back and watch this video. Go read the article on Visit, v1sut.substack.com. Because again, this is the work that we're doing as ministers and as Christians here. Our job is to preach the gospel. Our job is to preach the word of God. And our job is to protect the innocent, to protect children. It's not something we take for granted, and it's not something we take lightly. I have repeatedly in the last year tried to show how LGBT groups, drag queens, have infiltrated our government and how they've now infiltrated. There's no better video to demonstrate this than the video I just did tonight to demonstrate how they have infected and infiltrated every facet of our life. They cannot be ignored. It cannot be one of these that we can just, silently acquiesce to. We have to stand against this. We have to engage in this, silently. This isn't one of these things where we can pretend like it is, because this happens by our silence. This happens when we do nothing. You can't just run your mouth on Facebook and social media and expect that things are going to get better, because the social media, they're part of this. Edmund Burke says the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. To do nothing. Nothing. And posting on social media isn't you doing something about it. Like I says, there should be every person within 100 miles going down to that school and saying, demanding that because again, when they realize that we're not going away, when they realize that we are very involved and active, and no matter what they say, what they do, they can do restraining orders, they can do arrests, they can do all these things. We're not going to stop. They arrested Jesus. They killed Jesus. Jesus says that the servant is not greater than his master. If they did it to him, they're going to do it to us. But you see, we Christians today, we run from this stuff. We should be engaged in this. We should not be fearful of being persecuted. We're going to be persecuted. But the thing is, we're so concerned with how, you got arrested. So what? You should be arrested. Jesus was arrested. A lot of the other churches arrested. Being arrested is, for righteousness' sake, is a badge of honor. We can't run from persecution. I'm not saying go run into a hail of bullets, but I'm saying that don't allow persecution to cause you not to stand against this, because that's what they rely on. They rely on using their friends in the police departments. They rely on using their judge friends, their teacher friends. They rely on intimidating, bullying, and trying to get you to stop. They threaten you. They cancel you. So what? Let them cancel you. You know what? Forget the Christians. Forget the churches. I'm telling you this from somebody who I'm telling you from my own experience. Christians aren't going to help you. And I mean Christians in a general sense, like the average American Christian. They're not going to help you. If you think you're going to stand against us and brothers and sisters are going to rally around you, it's not going to happen. Trust me. You need to do this for Jesus Christ. You need to do this because it's the right thing to do. You don't need to do this for money. You don't need to do this for fame or whatever. You need to do this because this is what we do as Christians. Our job is to protect the innocent, to preach the truth of the gospel, to preach the truth of Jesus is to cut through all the garbage, cut through the crap, cut through all the nonsense, and get our butts out there and do something. I have been preaching on these platforms like this for years. And I see a little bit of a remnant, but it should be much larger at this point. With all the information that we put out on our videos and our writings and everything that we put out there, we should have every single person that listens and watches out, take to the streets and stand against us. We should have people emailing and calling their state legislators, because that's who the people are that impact us in our states. It's the state legislator. But most Christians, they'll watch this video, whether they're watching it live tonight or watching it after the fact, and after they watch, they'll be pissed off, and they'll be, oh my gosh, this is happening. And then they'll just go back to doing nothing. Within 2 days, they forget everything that we put out here. And this is the kind of thing that needs to stop. We're used to going to church on Sunday. By Tuesday, we're out there sinning again. We're used to going to a conference or a meeting. What do they have now? These prophecy conferences and deliverance conferences. But nothing ever changes. We feel good in the moment. We feel angered in the moment when we do videos like this. We go to church on Sundays and we're being manipulated with it. We're overcome with emotion because of the worship and all these things here. But nothing really changes. Within 2 or 3 days, we just go back. And when a news story like the drag queen principal breaks, we stood out there. We went against it. We stood out there with bullhorns. We went to the school board meeting in the rain. We went inside. We preached. We spoke to people. We emailed. We called. And we still followed up. But sadly, we're the only ones doing it anymore. Everybody else kind of forgot about it. And now these people feel so safe and secure that they're wanting to bring their grooming, the people they're grooming, into the schools and say, hey, come with me to our parent-teacher conference. These people aren't even teachers and they're being certified. They're being by superintendents. They're being lied about to the state to be covered because they're gay. This isn't about teachers. This is about trying to get people in powerful positions because they align with people ideologically. Well, you know what? Then we need to get people that align with us ideologically. Everybody talks about, oh, Christians want a theocracy. Christians want this. Okay. Even if we did, so what? It's either us or them. They claim that we want to have a theocracy. They want a theocracy. They want the rainbow gods in position to power that are going to make edicts and mandates for the rest of us. So while we are so concerned with being labeled by these freaks touting green and purple hair, we're letting them win. We're letting them win the arguments with their words on social media. I mean, I got banned on Twitter today for 12 hours because I posted a picture of homo wine. So much for free speech. 8 posts removed today on Facebook, 8 of them. They came at me hard today to silence me. And I don't think it's coincidental. It's because we were putting this video out there tonight. We put this information out today that they silenced me on Facebook. Because after all, they control the full information. Look at my channel here. We have almost 18,000 subscribers. And yet we still cannot crack that 20 or 30 viewer mark. We should have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 viewers watching this stuff. But they don't want it. YouTube has admitted to me that they I have it in writing. I put it out there on our Facebook page, the email they sent where they admitted to shadow banning. Because nothing is more important in our culture than fighting this war, spiritually speaking. Because the thing is, if we don't fight it spiritually and deal with it spiritually, it's going to get physical in the natural, and we don't want that, because if that happens, people are going to get hurt and people may die, and we want to avoid that. We want to deal with it before it gets too late and gets beyond the point where we have to do that. We can deal with this now spiritually. We can do this without causing any physical harm to people. Because you know what? If we don't, it's going to escalate to that point sooner or later. But the only people being physically harmed now are our kids. And people like myself, other Christians that are willing to stand against us, because our very own brothers and sisters, the people that are supposed to align with us and stand with us, they sit there and watch because they're too cowardly. They're too concerned what's going to happen to them. Listen, I've sat in jail more since I've been a Christian than I have beforehand. And by golly, I don't think it's going to be the last time. Believe me, I don't want to sit in jail more than you. I've got a wife. I've got 6 kids at home. I've got another kid out there in college. I got 2 kids in college. You think I want to sit in a jail cell? I've got a 3-year-old. My little boy's awesome. My wife, you think I want to be without my wife for 30 days, whatever it is? You think I want to be in a jail cell for more than any time? Of course I don't. But I don't let the threat of jail deter me. See, the enemy wants it. They don't care if you get convicted. They just want you in jail so that they can say, look, he was arrested for this. He was arrested for that. She was arrested for this. And it works because people are afraid of their image. They're afraid of how they're going to be perceived. Who cares? Who cares? If your fear of what these people are going to call you limits you from doing it, then you're a coward. And you can say whatever you want. You are a coward. If you don't do things because of the reaction of the devil and the deviant, you're a coward. You're a spineless, gutless coward. And I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I'm saying it because it's the truth and to motivate you to do something. How can you watch a video like I just put out there and then 2 days from now go, oh man, that sucks, and do nothing about it? This is happening every day, and it's getting more and more in your face. Your kids, and the answer, by the way, is I know a lot of you just want to cut bait and run. But they're going after kids. You know, you think that you can take your kids out of schools and your kids might be protected. This is true for now. For now. But the kids in the public schools, They're going to be the ones that are the future leaders of this country. They're going to be the ones who are fully indoctrinated with LGBT, leftist ideology, satanic propaganda, and they're going to be the ones who are in charge. So while you are protecting kids today, you're going to actually do them more of a disservice later on, because the only people that are going to be are out there in public education are going to be the ones that are indoctrinated. They're going to be the ones who are moved up the corporate ladder. They're going to be the ones who are put in positions of power. And they will make laws that will affect your kids. We'll be gone by then. But our kids are going to be affected by what we do today. So we can't just cut bait and run. We need to stand firm and stand up against this. We just won in Tennessee. The LGBT lawyers, let me rephrase that. The school board lawyers settled with us on a case in Tennessee. Now, granted, the settlement was more than I thought it was going to be, because a lot of people think that we get paid a lot of money for lawsuits. There's no money. Let me just set the record straight. There is no money in civil rights lawsuits. Our lawyers get paid. We, generally speaking, get $1, because there has to be some kind of award for it to be a win. $1. Brielle got $100. I don't know why. I don't know why they just didn't do $1. $101. I don't know where they came with that number, but it doesn't matter. She got 100 times more than we thought. The gay teacher is gone. The superintendent fired. The teachers have taken, from what I understand, since this lawsuit happened, they've been taking First Amendment training courses. There's no gay lesbian alliance club there. They tried to start it, but the kids pushed back after the teacher incident. It's a win. They're on notice now. Don't do this to kids. Don't do this. This should be all of us doing this. We have one, and it was in the news. Christian Post published it already. It's been in the news in several places already. LGBTQ Nation already did it, and they're trying to spin it as, well, they just paid $100 to make this guy go away. Okay, whatever you want. But I watched some of the comments in these articles, and I see how little people actually know about the law, the Constitution, how things work. So we have one free speech win this year, and we're about to have a second with the Supreme Court case. Two, and the first one's not as major as the second one. The Supreme Court case is a major free speech case. That it has the ability to affect every Christian in this country and our ability to preach and share scripture on social media. When we win that appeal, it's going to set a precedent that, no, you can't put restraints against Christians for standing against LGBTQ ideology. That we can do it, and there's nothing you can do to stop us. And remember, it was Eric Love, JT Olson, the two of them helped those groomers. They can try to minimize it and say, well, it's a petty First Amendment case. They're making a big deal about nothing. That's right. Liberty Counsel, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, myself, Rutherford Institute, the lawyers in Tulsa, everybody is making a big deal about it. But the one guy who says it's not a big deal is the guy that helped them. Of course they want to minimize it, because they helped make the words of Jesus Christ hate speech. They tried to make the words of Jesus hate speech. What about getting embarrassed? Who cares about getting embarrassed? Who cares? Who cares? They made Jesus carry his own cross. Again, when you let these people, when you let them dictate what you can and cannot say, when you let them decide what truth is and what truth is not, when you let them scare you into silence, you have lost and you're a coward. And cowards in the Bible go to hell. And you can do whatever mental gymnastics you want to try to get around that cowardice. But the fact is, if you don't do something because of the reaction of that crowd, you are a coward. You are a coward. Believe me, it is not fun doing this. I get it. I get it more than most. Trust me. We're hated by everybody. We're hated by the LGBT. We're hated by atheists. We're hated by liberals. We're hated by our very own Christian brothers and sisters. Well, I guess they're not really brothers and sisters. I mean, David Grisham went out there with a Grinch suit on a public sidewalk and said, Santa's fake, Jesus real. And Christians, conservatives, threatened to kill him over it. Over something they know to be fictitious. And you wonder why we're losing in this country? It's not because God's losing. It's because you, the representatives, the ambassadors, the one whom God secured a victory for, are literally doing Adam did. You're just handing it over to the devil again. You're taking what Jesus brought back and gave to us and said, here, and giving it over to the devil and saying, here you go, because the devil can't take victory. He can't win. The only victory the devil has is the victory you give him. So when this stuff happens, it's because you're giving it to him. Now, I know every church in America says they have 500 converts every week, but yet the darkness is growing and the light not so much. And we know that light overcomes darkness. Darkness can never overcome light. It's always the other way around. So we would think with so many new converts coming into the faith that this stuff wouldn't be happening anymore, but yet we find it's growing and it's happening more. And that's because these converts aren't really converts. And it's because Christians are not operating in the power of the Holy Ghost. Instead, they're operating in their own flesh, and their own ideas, and they're allowing the culture to dictate to them what love is, what hate is, what truth is, what fiction is. They're allowing the fear of jail. They're allowing the fear of being physically harmed. They're allowing these things to dictate their behaviors. And no, nobody wants to be physically hurt. Nobody wants to get arrested. But we shouldn't allow that to stop us from preaching the truth. You may go to jail. But you know what? Look at all of us that have gone to jail over free speech issues that have been ticketed or cited or jailed or threatened. Every time we file a court lawsuit, we win. We win. It'll play out in court. And when it does, they'll never do it again. And not only will you help yourself, but you'll help the next Christian that goes out there to make sure they don't go to jail. So it's not just about you and me. It's about other people. It's about other Christians in the future who may want to go out there and do something. You may be able to secure a small victory to help them go out there without being arrested or harassed. So you got to think about it in those terms. Now, again, I hope you're watching this video tonight, and I hope you take what I'm saying to heart, and I hope you use some of the things here, and I hope you watch this video, and I really hope and pray that this is one of these videos that you share and encourage other people to watch, encourage other people to take action, encourage them to subscribe, because we're going to out more stuff. Tomorrow I'm going to out the video. Once I secure permission to do so, I'm going to out the video of the guy being arrested and caught. And share it on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you're watching Rumble, Rumble, we have a Rumble channel too, guys. Don't forget Rumble. We do not get censored on Rumble at all. And on Rumble, and again, it's just a matter of time before this channel goes down too. So everybody should give us a follow on Rumble. Just in the interim, because our Rumble channel, again, they have not censored one thing there yet. Our Rumble channel is Official Street Preachers also. It's rumble.com/official, just rumble.com/official street preachers, or go to Rumble, type in Official Street Preachers, and again, look for this logo right here. This is the channel thumbnail art right here. This is us. Give that Rumble channel a follow. Again, you don't have to watch the videos in Rumble right now, but just know that if we don't do a video here we're supposed to, chances are we got banned or got a strike, whatever. But we will be streaming on Rumble. So make sure if you're not here, make sure you're subscribed to Rumble. Also, make sure you are subscribed to YouTube. Make sure you have to subscribe, but make sure you have all your notifications turned on, because YouTube is saying only 1% of you got your notifications turned on. And I know that's not true. But what they're doing is they're actually taking away your notifications and they're changing it for you. So you need to go in there, make sure you're subscribed, hit that little down arrow again, and hit all notifications. And again, we are shadow banned. It is what it is. I'm not going to change. We do things just to avoid the shadow ban, but we do need you guys to help us. So if you would, please give a thumbs up. Give a comment when this video is over. When it's processed, come back, give a comment, and make sure you do share this and encourage others to subscribe and share as well, because the information we're putting out, the teaching we're going to be putting out in the future, we're going back to the way things were when I was doing teachings more regularly. All this distraction stuff, it's over with. I'm done with it. We're going to do more videos like tonight. We're going to be more exposing pedophiles, trafficking rings. We're going to be doing more Bible teaching again. And again, one of the missions that God has really put on me lately is to cut through the crap and the misinformation that people have been putting out there about Jesus, that the churches have taken a cultural stand, a carnal cultural stand on who Jesus Christ is. And we need to understand that Jesus is not a hippie. Jesus didn't walk around saying peace and love. Jesus was not always a nice guy. Jesus was firm. Yes, God is love. But again, most people, when you ask them, I've learned over the past year, I've asked every time I want to preach, what is love? Nobody, not a single solitary person I've asked that question to, and it's all on video. Nobody can answer the question, what is love? I even asked the question, what is the love of God? There is a verse in the Bible that says the love of God is this, blank. What is this? Most people can't answer that question either. Most people don't know that verse. How sad was it last year that at, what was it called? South Padre Island. We stood at that bar and everybody in the bar like, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in the Bible. They thought we had $100. We had one of those little Trump tracts, the dollar, that looked like a $100 bill. And we said, we folded it up. We said, we'll give this to you if you can give 3 scriptures out of those hundreds and hundreds of college kids and people at the bar. Not a single one of them could give it. Then we loaded it down. Just give me one verse. One verse, quote, verse, chapter, verbatim. Not a single one of them could even give one verse. Not one. And these are the people that represent our faith. They can't even quote one scripture in the Bible, but they claim to love God. You don't love God if you don't love his word. If you don't know God's word, you don't know God, because that's how we get to know who God is. So one of the mandates God has had me do for this year and forward is cut through the crap. Who is Jesus? Either you're going to accept what God's word says about Jesus or you're not. But playtime is over. Either you're going to accept what it says about Jesus in this word right here or you're not. And if you don't accept it, just move along, because we don't want you with us anyway. But it's time for a lot of people to understand who Jesus Christ really is. And he's not what the American church says. He's not this namby-pamby, but God's heart is broken. No, God's heart is not broken. God's heart is angry. He's not boo-hoo. He didn't flood the earth with his tears back in Noah's day. He didn't cry so much that the earth flooded. No, he said he repented of making mankind and killed everybody. You need to know this Jesus. And this Jesus, if you don't know, if you don't read this, if you've never read this, and I'm not talking, okay, I read my Bible in a year, then you're not going to know who Jesus, and that's why there's so much misinformation about Jesus Christ. We've allowed the culture to dictate Scripture. And we're done with this. So either you're going to get in or you're going to get out of the way. That's where we're at right now. I've got no time to deal with drama anymore. And believe me, it's been nothing but drama for the past 6 months. I'm done with it. When stories like this come out, when we find this out, where we're actively going and going to uncover, I'm telling you, there is an entire pedophile ring out there in Western Heights, in that area of Oklahoma, and we are going to help uncover that. That's where my focus is. And we are going to do that through God, through Jesus, and we're going to let these people know that it's God who gets the glory. It's God who wanted that uncovered. It's God who wants to protect those kids. So what we're going to do is we are going to have a boot camp at some point in the future. I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how. It's just something. I don't want a conference. I don't want to say, hey guys, we're going to have a conference and everybody's invited. No, I don't want everybody there. I want people that we can trust there. I want people we can trust with techniques and training that aren't going to spill the beans to the enemy and let them know how we do half the things that we do. So we're going to do something in the future, but it's only going to be open to those who are invited. You can apply, but we're going to vet. And if we don't know you, you ain't coming. And if you think you're going to come when we do this, and you're going to take these things and not do anything with it, you will not be coming back whenever we do it again. Because it is time for training and boot camp. It is not, no, it's not removed. They changed it to official street preachers. This is not, oh, kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. No, we're not doing that. This isn't a happy, happy, joy, joy, love, love fest. There is serious business. Oh, here we go.
Happy, joy, joy.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old pal, Stinky Whizzleteats. This is a song about a whale. No! This is a song about being happy. That's right. It's the happy, happy, joy, joy song. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, joy. I don't think you're happy enough. That's right. I'll teach you to be happy. I'll teach your grandmother to suck eggs. Now, boys and girls, let's try it again. Happy, happy, joy, joy. 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 Happy, happy, joy, joy, joy. If and you ain't the granddaddy of all liars, the little critters of nature, they don't know that they're ugly. That's very funny. A fly marrying a bumblebee. I told you I'd shoot, but you didn't believe me. Why didn't you believe me? Happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, 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 joy, joy, joy.
There you go. You just had your church service now. Everybody happy in a good mood? That's after all, that's how you want you to feel, right? Anyway, seriously, thank you guys for coming on with me tonight. I appreciate you all. You know, and I hope you stick around for the future. I hope you guys stick around because, you know, we are going to, there's more stuff coming. We're going to out this ring out there in Western Heights, just like we did in Bartlesville and Tulsa, and we're going to put a stop to it. In Jesus' name, it's going to be stopped. It's going to be ended. Our superintendent of schools, we're getting these predators out of our schools in Oklahoma, and we're going to teach you how to do it also. But once again, remember, when we do something eventually, I don't know when, don't know where, don't know how, it's got to be in God's timing, not mine. It's not going to be a conference. It's not going to be a, well, guys, let's come together and whatever. No, we're going to come together, and we're going to learn, and we're going to put these things into practice. Because, again, I don't want followers. I don't want people who are here just to listen. I want people to actually go and take the things and put into practice where they live. Because, again, here's one of the things I can't do. I can't fight for a city that's someone to fight for itself. I'll come, like Bartlesville. We went out there twice. The local churches don't want to take care of it after that. Look what happened in Tennessee when we left. The preacher in Tennessee don't want to stand up for their state. Well, then you know what? Let the devil have it. Because, again, I'm only one person. I can't fight for everybody's city. Bartlesville, we're going to go one more time, and if they don't stand up for their city, then you know what? Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and they're going to turn into a New Orleans. They've been warned. You know, we've done our best, but we're not going to fight for a city that we don't live in that's not going to fight for themselves. We've exposed what needs to be exposed. The courts, they've been exposed for what they have been. The police, and the giving is the police. Oh, you know what? I'll do another video on that another time. So, with that said, I want to thank you guys again. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter is OSPOFCL is our Twitter handle. So make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, which is Official Street Preachers. Make sure you follow us on Rumble, which is Official Street Preachers, and YouTube, Official Street Preachers. We have a presence on every one of these platforms out there. So again, and all the information put out tonight is on Instagram. I made a short out of the article, and it's all out there for everybody to see. But we are going to continue this work. And again, keep your eyes peeled. Again, just so you guys know, March, we have South Padre Island, Texas come up. It's Spring Break Preach. We have a place to stay. If you're interested in coming, make plans now. We're there for a week. You don't have to be there for a whole week, but we are there for a week. We are there for an entire week. We preach during the day. We take a little break for dinner, and then we go back at night. We preach at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's a long preach every day for a week straight. You're going to need about 2 weeks to recover from that preach. It's the only preach I've ever went to I blew out my voice. Make plans now. Save up money now. Save up to come to that now, because it's a good preach. If you've never done it before, you want to get your feet wet, it is a good place to go for your first preach. We'd love to have you. Contact myself, David Grisham. It's not a conference or anything like that. It's just a preach where we want to get some guys who have never done it before, who are willing to come out and stand against drunkenness and things like that, and be able to preach and learn. You go to the bar. It's a good opportunity. So I'll get you the exact dates. I can't remember off the top of my head what they are. We also have the Republican National Convention, the Democrat National Convention next year. We have a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing. So stay tuned. Also, if you want to help support us, we have people that want to come with us sometimes that, they don't have the money themselves. We're not rich by any stretch of the imagination. But we could use your help in helping others and helping us continue the work we do. We're going to need some updated equipment. We're going to need some more stuff for gas as we continue, especially going out to Western Heights. We have a group going out there. We're going to go and catch these predators. If you want to help support us, you can do so on our website, officialstreetpreachers.com/give. We also have our Venmo, which is at Official Street Preachers. And we have Zelle, which is admin@officialstreetpreachers.com. Everything helps. Listen, there's nothing more important than the work that we're doing with this. We need cameras. We need more stuff. We need GoPros. We need lots. I mean, it's not cheap. I'm not going to pretend like it is, but you could help us get this with we want to be armed with cameras. Our entire team. We have people in Illinois, Texas, Oklahoma. We have people all over that are willing to do this. We need to train them, equip them. And if you have the ability to please help, please consider doing so. Go beyond prayer. Again, it's officialstreetpreachers.com/give, Zelle, admin@officialstreetpreachers.com, and Venmo @officialstreetpreachers. This is where we're focused. This is where we're going to keep going. I have one camera, but we need a lot more. So please consider giving. Again, we're not rich. Type my name in Google. You'll find out no one in the right mind would ever hire me again for anything ever. So I have my own money that I make, but sometimes it's not enough, and I need help from our brothers and sisters because, again, the work we do, we are out there publicly. Say what you want, but even Paul had said, hey, guys like me should be getting help from the church. And I'll do a video on that in the future, just that's not really a focus of mine right now. So if you would, we'd appreciate that. If you need prayer, please feel free to email me. It's admin@officialstreetpreachers.com. If you have any tips about predators in your area, let us know, and we'll get our we have PIs with us. We have a lot of stuff with us to get some of this stuff taken care of. So just know we do have an entire team of people from independent journalists to PIs with us. And we want to help support them as well, too. So, again, any financial contribution, any gift is much appreciated. We do take it as a blessing. Your fingerprints are on it, and we help these things when you help us with that. And just know that you're with us on this. And then, of course, again, after this video is over, come back to youtube.com/officialstreetpreachers. Leave a comment, give the thumbs up, and encourage, share this video and encourage others. Love you guys. God bless you guys. With that said, we will see you guys tomorrow night. And I'm going to do the teaching I want to do tonight, which is on Ephesians 6:12. I hope you come back for it. You'll be blessed. See you guys tomorrow night.
I would like to address some of you upcoming street preachers. You have to understand, you're not going to be a pulpit preacher. You're not going to preach in very nice places. As a matter of fact, where God will send you, it's going to be a little bit dirty. Unfortunately, most ministers see their flock dressed nice, looking nice, smelling nice on Sunday, but we see them from Monday through Saturday at any given place. And so that flock is a mess. And you have to understand, when you preach open air, it's not going to be glamorous. Unfortunately, God's going to send you into the filth, the wickedness. You're going to understand why, even at one point, God resented even making mankind. And so you need to count the cost. There's nothing glamorous. There's nothing wonderful and beautiful. It's not, you can forget about being a missionary to Hawaii. If you're going to be an open-air preacher, your hands are going to get dirty because the field that you're going to plow is filthy. You're going to look at sin in a whole different way. As a matter of fact, if you're a good street preacher, you're going to hate sin. You're going to despise sin. You're not just going to dislike it. You're going to understand why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and why God destroyed the world with water and flood. And so if you're a young open-air preacher, this is what you're going to have to look up to. This is going to be the field in which you're going to be plowing in. And you need to rejoice in that and understand you're going to be hated, despised, and jailed to work in a place like this. Because one day, I'm going to die, and I'm going to be with the Lord. And all this will be yours.